Hey guys, I'm Amit from Guitar World, and today we're speaking to Mark Morton. Hey Mark, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, what's up, man?
Yes, we're in the Gibson Garage in London. Is this your first time here?
It's my first time to the London Garage, yes.
What do you reckon?
It's gorgeous, man. Spectacular.
Is there anything
Nice work, my friend. You did a great job. You did a great job with the place.
Is there anything that's kind of taken your fancy while you've been here?
I was actually, believe it or not, playing the Cat Stevens acoustic there in the back. Someone handed it to me and said it was one of the favorite acoustics hanging around here, and I took their word for it. It's nice.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're meeting up today to obviously talk about your latest record. It's your second solo album, Without the Pain. One thing that we'd all love to know is, for you as the creator, when you're writing these songs, what would you say from a guitar point of view makes this collection of tracks different to things you might write in Lamb of God?
Oh, well, it's infinitely different. Yeah. It's very different. So I would say, first is the obvious, they're just different genres, right? So Lamb of God, for those who don't know, is a pretty heavy metal band. So song-wise, it's kind of a different strategy. It's very note dense. It's very groove oriented, and we aren't the most acrobatic guitar band around, but there's some guitar fireworks going on, that kind of thing. It's very percussive, very rhythmic. There's not a lot of melody. There is melody, some in the vocals, more in the guitars, but the melody kind of comes from different places, and I feel like holds a different space in the song versus what I'm doing on the solo record, which is much more traditional songwriting style. There's a lot more space in the songs, a lot more focus on melody. It's just a different thing, man. It's like, Southern rock versus thrash metal, it's a different thing. Not a blend of the two, no, it's two different lanes,
Of course.
Yeah.
Would you say that spills out into the gear that you're using as well? Is it like the same kind of rig but with less gain, or do you have a complete rethink?
No, it's just a totally different rig. So I'm still playing Les Pauls on both, and feel real comfortable on a Les Paul, always have. But the pickups are very different. And so for the solo stuff, I need less output is better.
Yeah.
So for most of the rhythm tracks, I used 2018 Custom Shop R9, stock pickups in it, right? Custom buckers in that. And I used a Custom Shop 60, I think it's a 63 replica Custom Shop ES335, and I use that. And then for some of the overdubs and solos, I have a real, not that that's not real, but I have an actual a guitar from 1963 that's an ES335 that I'm lucky enough to have, and I use that for some solos. What else did I use? I used a 57 Les Paul Jr. That belongs to a friend of mine when I was doing some stuff in Nashville. A couple other things snuck in there here and there, but most of it was the main tracks were those Custom Shop, that Les Paul and that 335.
Cool.
Yeah.
You've experimented with the country sound in the past, of course, but this album I feel really exaggerates some of those influences. I'd love to know a bit more about the country influences and the players who maybe had the biggest mark on you over the years.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to say that any of it is like straight country. I mean, I work with some country artists, Travis Denning is a good friend of mine, and we wrote songs together for it. And Cody Jinks, which I have a single with Cody, is definitely a kind of an outlaw country, like independent country artist. A lot of Southern rock and blues going on the record too, so it's just kind of a blending of all those things, right? Who are my favorite country artists? I mean, there are so many. Waylon Jennings comes to mind. I think he's like the original kind of outlaw country badass. A lot of myth and legend around him, and just some really, really great songs. And there's a lot of modern artists that I guess you could call country, just Americana kind of things. I'm a big Jason Isbell fan. He's a friend of Gibson, as you know, and he plays on the record as well. He's a killer slide solo on the record. I'm Travis. I work with Travis on the record, and Cody. Both those guys are doing great things that I'm a fan of.
Very cool. On a bluesy level, I'd say that opening track really had that ZZ Top kind of boogie.
It does.
It had me grinning from ear to ear.
Yeah,
Billy Gibbons, what a legend.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, he's just one of my favorite guitar players, and that song definitely has that "Just Got Paid" kind of vibe to it, and it's kind of undeniable groove. So I don't mind referencing that one bit, man.
Let's talk about the guest stars on this album. I think Grace Bowers is someone who everyone is really interested in at the moment.
She's so, it's like her whole thing is so exciting, right?
Yeah.
Just watching her, blow up into this guitar hero right before our eyes, you know, on Instagram. Like it's cool, you know. And she's out in the world too, doing big shows and big looks. So she's cool. We just kind of followed each other on Instagram and liked a couple of each other's posts or whatever. And I was going to be in Nashville recording, and I knew she was based there. And I just kind of threw it out there. I was like, hey, I'm tracking this thing with Cody, and she's on another song I do with Cody Jinks. I was like, I've got some room, you know, you wanna jump on this guitar solo with me? And she was like, yeah, I'll be there. So
Very nice.
Yeah.
I love the idea of, I think one track's got you with James Nichols
Yeah.
and Troy from Mastodon.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
quite the dream team.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I guess that one's a little bit of mashup, right? Of like country and of metal and blues. That's definitely the heaviest track on the record. And that was fun. That was an easy call to make. Me and Troy have been friends for a very long time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And you mentioned Jason Isbell earlier. Like you, he's a bit of a serious collector. Like
Yeah, he's got quite the stable of guitars, doesn't he?
yeah.
I got a few.
Yeah.
I got a few.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But again, another person that you're bringing into this record that maybe people might not have associated you with before, you know, someone that's kind of helping you explore new sounds, new flavors.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I've honestly needed much help exploring it, because that's the thing with this project, is this is the stuff that I listen to and that I'm a fan of on my own, you know, this kind of music. I didn't go through some sort of crash course to learn what this world's all about and get to be a part of it, you know what I mean? This is like this is coming home for me. And that's not to take anything away from my work with Lamb of God. I'm so proud of it. As you know, we've talked so many times about the stuff Lamb does and what a great opportunity that is, and how really just stoked I am to still be a part of it and to have so much left to do. And so that never goes away, but this kind of music and blues and southern rock and country, and it's really where my personal tastes have been all along. So it's really nothing new for me.
Yeah.
In terms of what I had to learn was really when in the songwriting process, because I worked with so many talented people. In that sense, I did go in as a bit of a student, and just to see in general what people's process was like and how it differed from mine. When I did the first album, I was a little more rigid with what I expected the songs to be, you know, maybe a little more controlling throughout the process. And this time I kind of intuitively and deliberately went in very open-ended with some ideas and some outlines and some sketches, but the people I was working with, I really wanted their feedback, their insight, their participation. So,
Yeah. I love the penultimate track because you chose a very cool Lynyrd Skynyrd song, The Needle and the Spoon. Now, that's a track that I don't think would be glaringly obvious for people to choose to cover. So I love the fact you took it and ran with it, and it's such a killer riff, right?
It's just been one of my favorite Skynyrd songs since I was a kid, you know, and I think it does like everything I want like a southern rock song to do. It's just kind of, the cornerstone is that great intro riff.
Yeah.
And such great guitar playing, and the lyrically and the subject matter is kind of dark and it's very kind of this warning. And just all the performances are incredible. So yeah, it checks all the boxes for me.
Yeah, of course. Well, touching on that kind of lyrical reference, I think like recently you'd posted about how it'd been maybe 6 years or just a bit more like since you've been sober.
Yeah.
And, you know, for all of us players who don't really understand like maybe how that might affect the creative process, what's it been like for you now, you know, all these years later, looking back on how you've been writing and recording and riffing away? Is there a level of clarity? Is there something different about how you've operated in that time?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just more present, man. You know, and I'm not a spokesperson for sobriety or anything like that. You know, I appreciate you bringing it up, and it's just the way I live my life today. I'm not a spokesperson or anybody's advisor on anything. But what I can tell you from my experience is that I'm just once I got used to living with some clarity, I found myself more present and more available to ideas. Yeah.
Very cool. I think, you know, like we touched on earlier, there's always been a blues element to your playing. Even like the most aggressive Lamb of God riffs will have that flat five, and some of your leads will have like some pentatonic phrasing, you know, thrown in there. It's always been quite clear. Maybe it's part of the Pantera influence maybe that came, when you guys started out, or I don't know, you're clearly a big blues guy, right?
Yeah.
So tell us, what do you think's the secret to a great blues solo?
Oh, I don't know that I know it. I'm not sure I know it. It makes you feel something. You know what I mean? I think if you feel something, blues solo or anything else, I think you just want to feel something would be the secret. And, you mentioned Dime. Dime heavy Eddie Van Halen influence, who had a heavy Eric Clapton influence. So it all really channels back there. I mean, heavy metal was invented by Black Sabbath. And if you ask me, that they're just a really heavy blues band.
Well, you're supporting them in a couple of months, right, for the farewell gig?
That's what I heard.
Yeah? Looking forward to that?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. What an honor,
I mean, we all saw the lineup when that got rolled out thinking, geez, that is quite possibly the most insane lineup of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even get to the lineup, honestly. I really didn't, just Sabbath. I mean, that's started the whole thing.
Yeah.
It is a great lineup. It's incredible. Super, super grateful to be a part of it, and just a huge, huge honor. Yeah. Are you going?
Yeah, I'll see you there, mate.
All right, cool.
I'll text you on the day. I'm outside.
I can't get you in.
So, as for blues solos, is there one blues solo that you might refer to as the greatest of all time?
No.
The one blues solo we can all learn from, or the one that spoke to you the most, perhaps?
I can tell you one of my favorite. There's a solo on the Black Crow song, Sometimes Salvation. So it's a pretty contemporary song. Mark Ford, such a great player. I got to work with him a little bit. He played on my first solo record. He did some jamming on that. But this, if you don't know the solo, go check it out. It's just so edgy and anxious, and it makes you feel something, right? You can feel this tension when he's playing, and then it resolves at the end, and it's just like it's like a whole moment within the song, and it's not perfectly played. It's really just, it's just really about to fall apart. And it's still, man. That album came out in 94 or something like that. How many years is that?
I'm bad at math.
That's 30 years. Is that 30 years?
A lifetime.
Or 20? I can't do that. And I still listen to it, and I'm still thinking, man, that is like a moment captured for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, another thing I really need to touch on today is you got some tongues wagging last year when you shared a photo from Soundcheck in Montreal. Do you have any idea what I might be talking about?
Oh, wait, I don't know. What are we talking about?
Well,
I have no idea what you're talking about. What are we talking about?
Well, there was a picture of a rather beautiful Les Paul.
Oh, I did know.
It had a quilt top.
What a guitar.
It looked like it said Mark Morton on the truss rod cover.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know,
my eyesight
man.
isn't that good these days, but
I just
could it be?
I got a package from Nashville, showed up on the step, and I opened it up, and there's that thing. I said, God, I better take this thing on tour, man.
Right, okay. Very nice. Well, I think we've spoken about it in the past as well. It looks like something might happen at some point.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
Wow, that would be cool. It's hard to.
Right.
It's hard.
The wheels they might be in motion
it's
here,
hard
right?
to wrap my head around that. But, that would be a really cool thing.
If I was Cesar from Gibson and we were kitting out this dream guitar,
right.
I'd love to know, would you have your traditional Seymours? Because I think you like the 59, and in the past that's what you've kind of used.
Long ago, I did, yeah. And I was doing DiMarzio stuff for a long time too. Well, I can tell you that I would have a hot rod pickup in it because it's for Lamb of God, right?
Okay.
And so you need a lot of gain for that kind of stuff, for that kind of response and that tight riffing that we do, and it needs to open up real bright for when you're doing lead work. So I would need a really, really hot rod pickup.
Right.
And you probably know more than me. I think Gibson's doing some really crazy pickup stuff right now, right? They're like winding some wild pickups.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
Got some talented cats around here. Jim DeColo's got his hands in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool.
For sure. So pack some heat. And there's something about quilt tops that I just love. There's just something really sophisticated about them,
Just looks good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just looks good.
Though in the video for your lead single off this new album, you're playing what looks like a very flamey burst.
Yeah, that shot, I never really thought of that guitar as like being like stunning top. It's a beautiful guitar, but you see these tops look like Bengal tigers, you know what I mean? But but everyone's like, that guitar is so gorgeous. It's 2018 custom shop R9, stock pickups. I used it all over the album. I fly with it,
Yeah.
Flew out to Colorado, did the video with it. We were playing in the video. That's not you're not hearing the song that we're playing, but we're playing live in the video. It's cool. Yeah, that guitar's great, man.
Nice.
You know what? There's something. I've had a few 2018s. They were doing something there.
It's a good year.
Yeah, I feel like it is. Like in terms of the newer stuff. I mean, all the new stuff's great, but I don't know. I've had some luck with those.
Well, you heard it here first. 2018. Go get them.
I don't know if you have any in the wall. That's probably not good information because none of these are 2018s.
So yes, we've spoken a lot in the past and text each other from time to time about our latest acquisitions.
Yeah.
Nerding out on serial numbers and bits and bobs like that.
It gets pretty nerdy, man.
It does, doesn't it?
It gets
Right?
pretty nerdy, yeah.
So over the last 18 months, so what have been your latest purchases?
I've slowed down quite a bit. There was a minute where I just had the disease, man. You know, it's like I'm on Reverb and I'm on all the vintage sites and I'm like learning all the serial numbers and the no, it didn't have that knobs until March. You know, but I got the guitar I told you about that I used quite a bit on the record is a 63 ES335. I got that not too long ago. That's really kind of one of my favorite players lately. I've got a 64 SG Junior, one pickup, 64. Man, the 64 neck profile. So the 63 I have has the same thing. It has that little bit wider neck. They start getting wider again around late 63 and 64, and that neck profile is perfect because it's like somehow more comfortable than a 58 or early 59, but it gets more of a handful than in the early 60s. So that 64 Junior, I play that all the time, man. That one stays kind of right by the kitchen, so I make my coffee in the morning, I sit on the stool and I just play a 64 Junior. That's a pretty good way to wake up.
Yeah, it's just waiting to get picked up. Right?
Yeah.
Well, that's inspiration for you, you know. Out of the whole collection though, which one would you say is like the absolute showstopper? Is there one that's got like the biggest price tag or
I sold it. Yeah, I had a 1960 Les Paul Custom that I sold just a few months ago, and it's the price tag, man. The values these days are crazy, and you almost get scared to play it a little bit. You know, you don't want to knock it around like you do, like I want to. You know what I mean? So they're fun to have, and I'm sure I'll probably have some dazzling. I mean, look, a 63 335 is still pretty dazzling if you ask me. I've got a 57 TV Junior that's super cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, those big ones that it gets crazy. I don't know. I think I'm too much of a klutz to have like a six-figure guitar laying around.
But as for the one guitar you've been looking for and you haven't found and you're just constantly searching for, what's the thing that we'll find on your Reverb search list?
Man, you know what? They're all out there. It's kind of like, it's probably ruined the hunt, this internet thing, because there's really not much that you can't find. The thing is, you got to be careful that it's real. There's a lot of fakes flying around. You know, everybody wants a good 59 standard. Everybody wants that. But I don't think you'll see me have one. I've played a bunch. But again, same reason, like, I don't know. I don't want to spend that kind of money on a guitar. You can have great guitars for reasonable prices, and I'm not trying to be like a salesperson for Gibson. I'm just saying, like, if you really play them, just get a guitar that makes sense, you know?
Fair dues,
Go
man.
to the vintage shop and play something rare, then put it back on the shelf.
I guess it doesn't really have the same romance, you know, clicking, looking at a screen, you know, as
Right.
as opposed
As
to
like
being
going
surprised.
to the shops and like trying, or you know, going through like you know, yard sales and stuff and finding that 58 standard that somebody's grandma put under the bed or whatever. That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, meeting the people and hearing the story about the guitar as well.
There's some great dealers that kind of bring the story along with the guitars that they have. It's cool. It's a whole world and it's super fun to learn about. I've learned a lot. I did recently get a 69 custom, which you're familiar with.
Oh yes, yeah.
You have one. You have one yourself.
Yeah.
And I have one I really like that I'm playing a lot, and that's cool. That's the other sort of measure is, am I playing it? You know, and that's the thing with these big expensive guitars. Like, you don't play them that much because you're scared to mess them up or whatever. So I kind of keep the ones that I find myself playing.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Awesome, Mark. Well, thank you for fitting us in.
Yeah, of course.
See you in July,
Thanks.
man.
Yeah. All right.